In this video, we're talking about solo shooting weddings. That's right, no second shooters, no assistants, just you. Whether you're just beginning or you're a seasoned professional, you've probably found yourself in a situation where you've had to film a wedding by yourself at some point, which can be super stressful. It's a pretty big task to have to manage all the light stands and lights, tripods, cameras, drones, audio gear all by yourself, much less making sure that you capture every single moment of the wedding day. But today I'm going to help you eliminate any and all fear surrounding the idea of shooting a wedding by yourself. Now, I shoot most of my weddings by myself, and I've traveled the world and filmed in almost every scenario possible. And oftentimes I have people ask me if I shot my films with 2 to 3 shooters. Nope, most of the time it's just me. And I attribute most of that to the secrets of solo shooting that I'm about to let you in on. But before we dive in, hit that subscribe button. Every single subscribe means the world to me as I pour a ton of energy into making these videos. So with that, let's get started. First and foremost, you have to be quick. And by quick, I mean that you have to be able to access your gear efficiently throughout the day. And here are a few ways that I do that. Firstly, as a solo shooter, you have to remember that you're the only one that is responsible for getting shots to make a wedding film. And in order to make sure that those films aren't boring, you need to be switching up your angles throughout the day. Setting your back down and reaching into it to get a new lens every single time that you need to change lenses isn't gonna cut it. And that's breaking rule number 1 of being quick. Enter the Free Designs Tri-Lens Holster. This, without a doubt, is my favorite, most useful piece of equipment on a wedding day. Attaching to your belt, it provides gunslinger quick access to your lenses. It can hold up to 3 lenses, but I like to only put 2 on so that there is a slot open for me to put the lens that is already on my camera onto the holster, which I can then subsequently grab another lens off of it. This is a necessity for me. Watch how much quicker I change lenses using the Free Designs Tri-Lens Holster instead of putting my bag down, unzipping it, and grabbing a lens out of it. That is a huge difference in efficiency. And without this lens holster, I'd be missing important moments that require quick lens changes throughout the wedding day. As an example, I like to use this whenever I'm shooting the first kiss on like a 50mm or an 85mm. And then as they begin the recessional and start walking down the aisle toward me, I quickly switch to my 25mm in the blink of an eye, and I'm able to capture that shot from a different focal length as well. If you go to Free Design's website, you can get one of these for 10% off using code Stanton10. Link to their website's down in the description of this video. And yes, they make ones for different cameras other than Sony. Now, my next tip on being quick is you gotta have the right bags. I carry every single piece of equipment other than my lights and my light stands in these 2 bags right here. Whether I'm shooting a travel wedding or a local one, these 2 bags rarely leave my side, especially my backpack. If you're at a wedding that you're moving around a lot at, make sure that you have a section of your backpack that's devoted to spare batteries, drones, audio gear, monitors, and things like that. Also, always make sure you carry all your lenses with you. You always want to be ready with your lenses just in case. I mean, that's the reason we brought them to the wedding in the first place. This is a great thing to implement into your day to make you more efficient, because if the bride's getting ready on one side of the hotel and the groom's getting ready on the other side, you can put all of your essential batteries and lenses and audio gear, things like that, in your backpack, leave your roller in one of their suites and go to the other side, get your filming done, and come back and get your roller. Now, if you're curious about how I'm fitting all of my gear to shoot a wedding on video in a roller and a backpack, then you can go watch my video where I break down every single piece of gear that I bring with me to my weddings. Also, if you're wanting to learn more about solo shooting, the camera movements that I use in my films, how I'm interacting with and posing my couples, and much more related to solo shooting, you can head over to my Patreon. It's a subscription-based educational platform that is pennies on the dollar cheaper than signing up for a course, and you get exclusive access to all of my videography and editing secrets. Link for that is also down in the description of this video. All right, number 2, you need to get to the wedding early. Now, I know that many of us as videographers have adopted the photographer age-old tradition of setting a certain amount of hours that will be at a wedding. I get it. We need to make sure that we're not being taken advantage of, and we also need to protect ourselves from being at the wedding for an erroneous amount of hours. But sometimes, in order to be good at our craft, we need to bite the bullet and go above and beyond. By getting to a wedding early, you're giving yourself ample amount of time to where you're not thrown straight into shooting, and you can go set up your lights, your light stands, your tripods. You can see where the ceremony's taking place. You can find the good spots for portraits. You can find a good spot to hang a wedding dress. Look, you understand what I'm getting at. But as wedding videographers, we need to remember that our videos should be a complete retelling of the day. From start to finish, from the getting ready to the send-off, those are the best videos. So by getting there early and scouting the lay of the land and setting up your lights and your light stands, you're giving yourself more time to actually film. Not to mention, this is just a huge act of mental alleviation for yourself. You're not walking into a brand new situation with a new group of people in a new place and expected to make a high quality film. You had time to go beforehand and scout everything out, so you feel more prepared now. This is really big if you're trying to shoot a wedding on your own. Your day's already going to be eaten up by this wedding and thinking about it anyway, so why not just do the due diligence, get there early, and make sure that you're really well prepared. There's not really room for error whenever you're solo shooting. So I want to urge you guys to start getting there early. Preparation is key in most things involving success, and your day is already, no matter what, going to be eaten up by this wedding day, regardless of the amount of hours that you're shooting. And it's also worth noting that this is going to make you look very prepared and very professional to the bride and groom who hired you. Next, we have number 3, really important. Make sure you have a shot list in mind. If you don't have a shot list in mind, you can click the link down in the description of this video to download one that I put together for you. Having a shot list is just another step forward in preparation for the wedding day. And for those of you that like checking things off like me, this is really going to help your OCD, while also making you feel better and better with each shot that you check off the list as you go through the day, because now you know you're getting everything that you need to get to make a good wedding film. The longer you do this, the better idea you'll have of what you personally need to put together a great film. And if you want to make your own shot list, I suggest you go back and watch your favorite films and start going through shot by shot and writing down the shots in order. Then you can load it onto your phone, and as you go through your wedding day, you can check it off one by one, making sure that you're getting everything you need to make your best film yet. Now, it's worth noting that this list should not be make or break. I love getting really pretty shots during the prep of the bride, getting her makeup done with beautiful light coming through a window, but if for some reason the day does not provide that, it's okay. Not every single wedding day is going to give you every single thing that you need on your shot list. The list should be used more as a guide than anything. It's just a reminder of what you should and could be getting. Now, number 4, this one's important. I guess all of these are important, but make sure that you're switching up your angles and your focal length throughout the day. This is the secret sauce that a lot of videographers get lazy in. And implementing this into your shooting regimen on a wedding day is going to do wonders in regards to the end product that you come up with for your wedding film, regardless of if you're shooting solo or with other people. Remember, you're the only one that's here on a wedding day, and it's on you to make sure that you capture every single shot. I don't want this to intimidate you. Rather, I want you to be confident on a wedding day, move around, and get creative with your shots. In this next clip, watch how many times I switch up my camera angle during the ceremony. And by switching up my camera angle, I'm talking about I'm actually physically moving. Many times videographers stand in one place for fear of being intrusive on a ceremony, but in reality, nobody's looking at you. And as long as you're being respectful and trying to be quiet, people know you're there to make a wedding film and they expect you to move around. I think a lot of videographers have the stigma of being the quiet person in the corner holding a monopod that's not talking a lot, trying to make a little video. But in order to make a film that's up to the standard of what others in our industry are making, you need to start moving around, switching your focal lengths from a 35mm to a 50 or an 85 or even wider, and making sure that you're getting creative with your films. My 5th solo shooting technique, which is kind of controversial, is that you need to start shooting handheld. There's some kind of mental psychosis that people have entered to in the last 5 to 7 years when gimbals came on the scene, where everybody thinks they need to shoot on gimbal because it makes your camera movement smooth. And I mean, who wouldn't want smooth footage over shaky footage? But then they forgot that using a gimbal is awkward, has to always be rebalanced, and is hard on your back, arms, and shoulders throughout the day. They are forgetting that a gimbal is a situational tool that should only sometimes be used, not all the time. I know videographers that run around all day with their camera on a gimbal. Now let's talk about handheld. Between stabilization of my lens, stabilization of my camera, the stabilization provided by using a camera strap around my neck and my arms, and having my rig set up with a handle, my footage is plenty stable enough. Not to mention the added stabilization that comes with slowing down your footage and adding stabilization in post. Shooting handheld allows you to focus on good composition, which is one of the biggest things that wedding videographers are struggling with and is one of the biggest things that makes film look good. When you're on a gimbal, you become obsessed with getting cool little movements with smooth shots, but you forget things like composition, which is already hard to achieve on a piece of equipment that has deadpan and has 3 axes of stabilization. I could rant on about my disgust with gimbals, but I'll bring it back to solo shooting weddings. No matter what happens on the wedding day, my camera rig is right next to me on my side, so I'm always ready. To put it simply, shooting handheld makes me less tired at the end of a wedding day. It allows me to do more things with my hands, while I'm also ready at any moment to shoot something because it's right next to my side, and it allows my mind to be more creative. All right, last but certainly not least, you need to be confident and communicate. Now, in my head, this almost goes without saying, but I'm just gonna give you a quick pep talk here on the subject because it's really, really important. And it's time for us as videographers to change the stereotype that's put on us. Without a doubt, you have to be confident and communicate during a wedding day in order to be successful as a solo shooter. Like I said earlier, nobody really knows what we need on a wedding day. So in order to get what we need, we have to talk. And trust me, I know that photographers are used to rushing the bride and groom into the very next thing as soon as they get what they need. But you gotta know they're not trying to undercut you. It's just what they're used to, and oftentimes photographers don't even have videographers at a wedding, so they're used to a different type of workflow than us. 99% of my weddings, my experiences with photographers are great. And I'm one of the most involved and communicative videographers that I know. Next time that you're shooting and you need to get another shot or two and the photographer tries rushing the couple onto the next thing, try this. While you're looking at the couple, say, hey guys, just one more second, sorry, I just need to get one or two more shots. You're not being rude and you're not bugging anybody by doing this, I promise. Normally the photographer will be like, oh shoot, sorry, yeah, get what you need. By speaking up and doing this, you're alerting the photographer to the fact that you don't just work off of what they're doing, and as the day goes on, they'll get better about making sure that you have time to get what you need. I also advise to reach out to photographers before the day of the wedding or talk to them before you actually start shooting on the day of the wedding. I like to email them or text them and let them know, hey, I'm totally on your team today, I'm super excited to work with you. Just let me know if you need anything. I'm here to be on your team to make sure that we both get exactly what we need. And many times photographers will come back and say, awesome, thanks. Yeah, a lot of times videographers just kind of follow my lead because I use a lot of movement in my posing and it normally works out great. But that's just the reality that they're experiencing in their mind. In actuality, they're not always doing movements that are cohesive with the films that I make. So I respond back and say, hey, I totally get that. My workflow though is a little bit different than most videographers, and I do require certain poses to get the shots that the bride and groom hired me for. I'm super efficient though, after watching this video, and move quickly so that we're both successful in getting the shots that we need. Remember, standing your ground is not rude. As long as you communicate and are confident, you'll be successful in getting great shots and having great relationships with everybody on the wedding day, photographer included. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Every subscription is the literal fuel behind me making more videos just like this one. Also, just a reminder that if you're wanting to take your wedding videography much more seriously and to elevate your brand, then I'm here to help on my Patreon, where I come out with weekly videos to help you in running your wedding video business. Again, guys, thanks for being here. Until next time.